In a quiet village surrounded by green hills and calm rivers, there lived a boy named Kofi. He was the kind of person many people didn't notice much. He didn't talk a lot, didn't dress to impress, and rarely raised his voice. While other kids were out playing or showing off their new clothes and toys, Kofi was usually alone, thinking, fixing broken things, or reading whatever book he could find. Kofi lived with his father, a simple fisherman who woke up before dawn every day. They didn't have much, but his father always told him, "You don't need to be loud, my son. Just be good at what you do, and let your work speak for you." Those words stayed in Kofi's heart like a seed waiting to grow. Kofi didn't want to be famous. He didn't dream of big stages or crowds shouting his name. All he wanted was to build things that could help people. When he saw someone struggling, his heart would whisper, "What can I do to fix that?" He learned how to take apart radios and fix them. He created small toys that moved on their own from bottle caps and wires. He would stay up late drawing ideas in a notebook his teacher gave him. No one really paid attention. There were no cameras, no applause, just a boy and his dreams. But while Kofi stayed quiet, working hard in the background, there was another boy in the same village, Kwame. Kwame was loud, confident, and always trying to impress people. If he got a new phone, everyone knew about it. If he built something small, he made sure to gather a crowd. He always said, "What's the point of doing something great if no one sees it?" He had followers, fans, and was the star of every village event. People liked him, they clapped when he showed off, laughed at his jokes, and believed he was going to do big things. One morning, a big announcement came over the radio. A national invention competition for young minds. The winner will receive a full scholarship to study engineering in the city, along with support to develop their idea. The entire village was excited. This was a once-in-a-lifetime chance. Kwame immediately started telling everyone he would win. He printed flyers, recorded videos, and even asked the village chief to support him. He told people to come watch him present his greatest invention yet. Meanwhile, Kofi quietly registered for the competition. He didn't tell many people. He didn't even tell his father until the night before the deadline. "Why didn't you tell me earlier?" his father asked. "I wanted to focus," Kofi said. "Talking takes time. I'd rather build." For the next few weeks, Kwame worked loudly. He called friends to help him decorate his setup. He added music, banners, and even practiced a dance for his presentation. Whenever someone passed by, he'd say, "Come see what a genius looks like." Kofi, on the other hand, worked in silence. He used parts from broken fans, old bicycles, and scrap metal. He stayed up late under candlelight. Some nights, he didn't even sleep. He wasn't interested in the flash, only in the function. He built a simple wind-powered generator, something that could turn the village's strong winds into electricity using recycled materials. It wasn't shiny or colorful, but it worked. And it could change lives. On the big day, the village was buzzing with energy. Families traveled to the city to watch the competition. Kwame arrived wearing sunglasses and a white suit. His invention looked like something from a sci-fi movie, lights, screens, and loud music. The crowd cheered before he even spoke. He walked on stage and gave a powerful speech full of big promises. People clapped, shouted his name, and took pictures. Then it was Kofi's turn. He walked alone, carrying a small wooden box with wires. No music, no speech, just a humble boy standing before a crowd. He calmly connected the wires, waited for the wind to blow, and the machine began to spin, lighting up a bulb from nothing but wind and waste. The judges leaned forward. They asked questions. They inspected the device. They looked at Kofi's blueprints, written by hand with careful notes. There was a long silence in the room. Then one of the judges stood up and said, This is innovation. Simple, smart, useful. You've solved a real problem with no resources and pure heart." The room exploded in applause, not because of flash or noise, but because of true value. Kofi won the competition. He didn't jump or shout. He simply smiled, looked at the crowd, and gave a small bow. Tears ran down his face, not because he finally had attention, but because all those quiet nights, all those silent sacrifices, had finally paid off. After the event, a journalist asked him, "Why didn't you promote yourself more? Why didn't you make noise like the others?" Kofi looked her in the eye and said, "A tree doesn't make noise when it grows. The sun doesn't scream when it rises. Success doesn't need to shout, it just needs to shine." When Kofi returned to the village, people looked at him differently, not because he showed off, but because he didn't have to. His actions spoke louder than anything he could have said. As for Kwame, he was quiet that day. But something in him changed. He walked up to Kofi and said, "You showed me something. Real success doesn't need a spotlight." "Thank you." Kofi smiled and replied, "We all shine in our time. Just make sure your light is real, not just reflections. In a world full of noise, be someone who works in silence. In a world where everyone wants attention, be someone who adds value. You don't need to show off. You don't need to announce your greatness. Let your work speak. Let your impact echo. That is the art of quiet success. Remember, roosters crow, eagles soar. Be an eagle.